Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Harmonious Engineering Let's Play series. I have been busy in between episodes, not too terribly busy, but I replaced the roof. I really got tired of the roof that we had before, and I didn't like how it felt on the inside at all. So I replaced this inside area here a little bit, and this is all light gray sheet metal slab. So the reason I went with light gray is because it looks sort of somewhere between steel and iron, but it doesn't cost steel or iron. You can make light gray sheet metal out of any colored sheet metal or any variant of sheet metal. So I could use gold sheet metal, I could use copper sheet metal, I could do whatever. So I used copper sheet metal because we had tons of copper, and so I turned it all into sheet metal. That's the smallest little mega spruce I've ever seen. What a cutie. And I colored it all light gray with the numerous flowers we have around and got to work replacing the roof. And I think that this looks a lot better. I think it fits the build a lot more. Kind of makes the inside of it feel a little more open because you know what they say about having a dark ceiling. It'll make the entire area feel shorter and a little more claustrophobic than if you have a light ceiling. And we picked right in the middle. So it's neither dark nor light and neither small nor big. It just kind of feels like the size it's supposed to be anyways. I also put in these. So these I had mentioned before, these are, I have exactly 6 of these lava smelters, which we're getting burned by a little bit. I've got these hooked up to fans that are going as fast as I could get them. Each one of these are running on 10 water wheels. So there's these 3 on 10 water wheels and these 3 on 10 water wheels, and the water wheels are way down below. I didn't show setting this up just because there didn't really seem to be any reason to do so. It's not super interesting in the first place, but yeah, I think that whole setup is going to be very beneficial, just sort of for keeping things smelted as quickly as possible and keeping things moving without slowing down, waiting on something to get processed up, etc. So I've got a couple of things in my inventory for decoration. You can see that I've been at work kind of doing regular maintenance. But this episode, I want to do something that I don't think I've ever really done too much before. In the Enigmatica 6 Let's Play series, I used Pretty Pipes for a short amount of time. And Pretty Pipes is an incredible mod made by LPEC. It is just overall a really fun mod, a really great way to move items around. But there's also a logistical component to it that allows you to create logistical systems that can migrate and move around items and blocks. And I'm finally going to actually set one of these up correctly. I learned that one of the things that I greatly made a mistake on in my last Let's Play for Enigmatica was that the Pretty Pipes, there is the, what is it called? The compressor, the pressurizer. This guy makes a huge difference, and I have learned firsthand that it really does make an enormous difference to the usability and enjoyment of keeping a Pretty Pipes network hooked up. So what I was thinking is that we could turn this room into a slightly more opened layout. I know we kind of kept this cramped storage room cluster that we have had for a little while, and I don't mind this at all, but I think it would be a little better if we opened this up here a little bit, and we did the following. We'll do a nice big glass floor for all of this, so this will all be replaced with glass. Let me see if I've got any ladders. I do not. Wait a minute. I do have some sticks here. Are ladders the vanilla recipe? They are. Okay. Without cork, the recipes have not been changed. And you know, we'll do this instead. And so what we can do is down here have a setup of a couple of barrels in various sizes. And so we can do essentially a bunch of barrels here, and then down the middle here we'll have pipes. So taking a look at Pretty Pipes, we'll go ahead and run up here really quickly, and I'll take some glass and go ahead and start filling this in. What we can do is we can use... I might need to go smelt up some more glass. I wanted to use just this plain framed glass from Create. I think it looks great. So let me do that real quick. And now we don't have to run back and forth. And because we've got 6 of these smelters, we can actually really quickly go through and process these up, just like so. Toss these in. And usually by the time the first batch is done, or the first batch has been put down, the batch is done all the way at the beginning again. Very fast, very fast. And so we'll fill in the floor with the framed glass, and we can start move some stuff around using pretty pipes and have some pipe systems around to relocate and sort for us. Now, what a sane person would probably do is sort everything kind of logically, and then come back around and grab their stuff from their chests as they need. Let's see, we'll need, what, 5 more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what I'm going to do is just let the chaos take over and not try to sort these barrels that I'm going to put down at all. I'm going to leave them completely, chaotically unsorted. And the reason for that is that we're going to access them through a terminal, and that won't matter how they're organized down there because we're never going to organize them or access them directly. That would be the goal, at least. So let's go ahead and do, let me start bookmarking some stuff here. We're going to need a pipe wrench, some blank modules. We're not going to use any pipe frames, but we will need a couple of different pipe modules here. We'll need the pressurizer. We'll need a crafting terminal. We'll need, there are a couple of things that we're going to need. We're going to need the, there is, I believe there's one that we need for provider, but maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing up logistic pipes. LPEC will absolutely come in the comments and ruin my name if I mess up too much here. So not to worry. I will try to keep things in as close to accurate form as possible. And then we'll grab some redstone. We'll get this all taken care of. So I received some feedback from LPEC that I should have changed the recipes for the pipes and stuff in this pack. And I strongly disagree. I think that these pipe recipes are actually really good because it makes you use a bunch of resources that you'll usually have in bulk, which are going to be iron, copper, and redstone. So I think that these recipes are just fine, but I am always open to input. So since this is a pack that I make for other people to play, I want other people's input, including LPEC's, to be considered. So any input that any of y'all have, if you're playing along, is always appreciated. But let's go ahead and get ourselves some barrels. And just for the sake of kind of showing off what I'm talking about, what I'm thinking of here, is we'll put the barrels down here, and then we'll have the pipes here, and then we'll have the barrels down there as well. And then we can upgrade all these barrels to like a gold tier or something eventually. I think right now I'm going to leave them all as base tier barrels because we don't have that much iron. And to get to the gold tier, which we have tons of gold, we have to go through the iron tier first, which is just a little bit more expensive than I'm willing to deal with at the moment. So let me go ahead and fill this area up with barrels as I am sort of picturing in my head, and I'll come back. Alrighty, so I've gotten a few barrels placed down, and I realized that this is actually a great opportunity for me to integrate with a couple of other mods that we can try to do as well. So what we can do is I'm going to break these pipes, and we're going to put these down here. Let me also grab some glowstone blocks and light up the little area down there. By the way, if you're looking for some glowstone block variations, I definitely suggest like glowstone bricks can be chiseled into these other chiseled variants, and I think these chiseled variants just look incredible. Personally, think that this is a great looking texture, especially if you're going for like that steampunky look. I think it's a great texture to go with. So what I'm thinking here is that for these two walls, this wall here and this wall here, we go with functional storage. And I'll show you exactly how we'll do that. Functional storage will allow us to give ourselves a bulk storage for a couple of different kinds of resources. And so to do this, we're going to need some chests, and we're going to need the actual storage blocks themselves, or the units themselves. If I used up some iron, which I don't actually need quite that much of, we could make them framed, which means we can turn them into any texture that we want. And so I'm trying to think of what textures we might want, and I got nothing. I'm not really sure what else we would want except for either oak or spruce, which is what we already have around. So I think for now I'm probably actually going to just keep them as standard, give me that, standard oak drawers, I think will probably be the way we go. So let me use, we've got a lot of spruce still, so let me use the spruce here to make the chests out of. We'll need a stack for one wall and a stack for the other wall. There we go. We'll do that. And now we can take all of these and go ahead and distribute those like so to make good old oak drawers. So these oak drawers, I think, will give us some contrast down here. And what we can do is we can put them down right here. And oak drawers seem to have a lighting issue, but that regardless of that, rather, ooh, words today, not my forte. We can still use them exactly the way I'm wanting to. And what we'll use them for is bulk storage. So we have a lot of things in bulk. I think that is pretty obvious at this point. I think I'm not surprising anyone by saying something like that. We've got just so many resources at this point that I'm starting to run out of space for a lot of things. And so what we can do is put those things in bulk storage and configure them using a couple of the components from functional storage as well. So functional storage offers us a handful of things that we can do. We have the, where is it? The storage controller, which we will probably use. This will allow us to link multiple drawers together in one interface. So that way we don't have to hook up a pipe to every one of those drawers. For that, though, we're also going to need a linking tool, which is another drawer, and we're also going to need a configuration tool. So that's a good bit of stuff that we're going to need. I knew I moved something around. Couldn't tell what it was, but I heard it earlier. So let's go ahead and get ourselves 2 of these. We're going to need more drawers, but that's okay. What we can do is just take that, and then that. And to get the, oh, right, we're going to actually need to do that twice. So to do a storage controller, we're going to need 2 blocks of quartz each. And if you can't tell by the noises, we have a bit of an otter infestation. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but just something that I am acknowledging is most certainly a thing that we're seeing here. So let's see, we've got 2 drawers, we've got some sort of a stone and some comparators. I believe we might actually have, no, we don't have any comparators left over. That's fine. We can quickly make those. In fact, I think we are good to go there. We just need those and some smooth stone. There we go. And then it just needs stone in the corners to get storage controllers. And the storage controllers here do not work the same as they do in storage drawers. They work a little bit differently. So in other words, these drawers here are not actually linked to, these 9 drawers here are not actually linked to that controller yet. We still need a linking tool. So for that, once again, you guessed it, it would be wise, let me do this. It would be wise to teach you how to make chests, and then how to take a chest made out of these, like so and like so. There we go. So now this will be a little easier to do. So let's see, to do a configuration tool, we need a drawer, and to do a linking tool, we need a drawer, and we need a lot of paper. Lots of crafting in today's episode for sure. I think I saw gold and emeralds and diamond. Okay. So we'll do paper. I think I may also have some paper. So we'll do linking tool, and we will do a configuration tool. So the configuration tool will allow us to lock these drawers to prevent things incorrectly going into these. So we'll do that. Actually, I will not do that. I'll show you why in just a minute. And if I right-click the linking tool looking not at a drawer, we can toggle between adding or removing. So we're going to add. We're going to start by linking to this controller, and then we're going to add all of these together. And you can see it forms one contiguous shape, right? So now if I right-click this, you should see that they all get locked. And if I right-click it again, you should see that they all get unlocked. And this is what we want to see. So I'll do it again over here. We'll just add all of these together like so. And if that worked correctly, all of these will also be locked. And the reason we want them to be locked is to verify that they are not going to accidentally get filled with something that we don't have in bulk, because we have a lot of natural resources over here in bulk. And I don't want something like Electrum to go take up one of these, because these are great for storing stuff in bulk, and that's not what I need in bulk necessarily. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this piped up, and I'll show you what I'm going to do, because there is probably one question you have going through your mind right now, and that is, how am I going to handle cases of priority where I want to make sure that something that's supposed to go into bulk goes into bulk storage first? And I'll show you exactly what my plan is there. I'm going to put this through the floor, and we will drop that down a layer so that we can put a piece of glass above it, because I don't want to hide any of these pipes. The mod's called Pretty Pipes, and the pipes are legitimately absolutely beautiful. I love that they show their items when you route stuff through them. That's not something you see a lot in modern day Minecraft because everyone's afraid of rendering lag, but LPEC has nailed the renderer, and it looks great and it runs great. So I'm not going to hide this. No shaming the beauty of LPEC's hard work. So let's see. We're going to need more glass, and we're going to need a floor. Actually, we'll just reuse the deep slate tiles. I guess that would make sense. So what we can do is the following. We will do a piece of floor here, and there is one thing that you can do to hide or cover your pipes. If you right-click on a pipe with a block in your offhand, it will disguise that pipe with the offhand block, assuming that you're holding the pipe wrench in your main hand. So you can see that that works just fine, like so. And now we have them covered up. What I'll do is, for the inner components here, I might use, might actually change this over to stone bricks, because everything else will be deep slate, and I don't want it to be, it'll still be kind of monotonous. It'll still be one tone. But I think that'll be a little bit more splashy if we change up the color a little bit there. So what I can do is break this, and wrench that to take the cover off. I was hoping I could reach that, but no big deal. If you, whoops. Slight bit of weirdness with me doing the crawl. I think that was totally just a weird cross integration between crawling and and trying to sneak while in a crawling state is a little bit weird, just in general to handle. So totally should have known better than to do that. But what I can do, I think I have like a stone brick in here or something maybe. I couldn't tell you because I can't. There we go. Brick. No, I guess I don't. Okay, well, I don't want to make another batch. I'm just going to be lazy here. So we will hook up this one stone brick to fill in the rest. And now what I'll do is put glass across the top here so that we're not hiding anything. We'll put deep slate tiles here. Like so. And now it's going to be very visible what's going on. And that's exciting. I think that's going to look really good. So we still have a couple of things left to hook up and left to just configure overall. So the first thing that we're going to need to configure is we're going to want to get a priority upgrade. So we're going to do highest priority or higher priority. I don't really know that it matters, but we're going to need some blank modules. So let's go ahead and get those crafted real quick. Let's make like 12. We're going to need quite a few. They're always good to just have on hand anyways. Give me You little thief. This little guy keeps taking my stuff. Even though I give it to it, it's purely on accident, and it should know better. So let's make a bunch of these. And then with those, we'll make 2 high priority modules. And I don't know if it really matters how high the priority is, but I'm just going to go for highest and assume that that's probably the move. So we'll do 2 of those. And now if we come over here to our connections on the face here with the storage controller, which this is something else that LPEC recently did, is made it so that these have distinct logic for each connection you're looking at. If I look at this connection and put highest priority, if I look at this one, hang on, I thought this was a thing. Did I misunderstand that? If so, that's still actually pretty easy to fix. So why don't we do this? We will route. I thought that Pretty Pipes had distinct connectors, but perhaps I was wrong there. And then if we do, come on, there we go. Do that, and then I do this, then that will work. Now I just need to make sure that these are still linked. They were not. So we will relink them, no biggie. And we'll do the same thing over here. And we will hook you up. I will disconnect that connection there just to prevent any accidents from happening. And now we have the highest priority going there. So the way that this will work in general is we'll have an extraction module coming out of our main, or we'll be able to extract from the main crafting terminal here. And this will help us kind of push and pull items in and out of these pipes. Because right now these pipes are just kind of stagnant, but they will have a purpose once we give them one. So let us, I'm going to cover up a couple of things real quick, actually. So what we'll do is for these 2 here, I'm going to cover the pipe in the background, but not the one in the foreground. So you'll see that they still connect. And then when we go through and clean up the background, I'll put more deep slate down. And everything will look like it is a solid wall of deep slate, and then we'll just leave the pipes either exposed, or we can cover them in glass as well. And then we can see what they're doing. Although, it looks like the side of glass blocks are not being cold, which would be a little weird, so I might just leave them bare, because they're pretty pipes. They look good. So we'll see. Anyways, let me go ahead and get a couple of things crafted up here for the modules to get ourselves a terminal and to get ourselves a pipe pressurizer with some of these high-speed upgrades. And then I will be right back. All right, so here we are. We finally have ourselves an item terminal, and I made it. I made a piston recipe over here just to make things a little bit easier. I'm still going to be utilizing these even after we get our setup made, so definitely just continuing to add stuff to the blueprint over here because they're just so great. And we're going to upgrade our item terminal over to a crafting terminal, and by doing so, we can now grab and request and craft from stuff in these pipes over here. So let's just, I'm going to make a really, really dumb setup. This is not how it's going to actually be made, but I just want to show this off before I get things nice and organized and cleaned up. If I disconnect this pipe connection here, if I put something in any of these, you'll see it show up here in our crafting terminal. So if I were to come over here and put down a piston, and I came over here and put my pickaxe in, we should see all of these. And if I request one pickaxe, it will pull the pickaxe out, and we can actually watch it move and come into our crafting terminal. Obviously, I don't want a pickaxe in here, so we will need to lock or unlock and then lock that again. But that gives us access to all of these items, and we can request them in intervals of 10 by holding down Control, or intervals of 64 by holding down Shift. And Control Shift does not seem to do anything different. It just lets Control take over. So if I wanted to get 34 cobble, it's going to pull 34 cobble out. Now, you can see probably where one of my complaints came from at one point, and that is that this is a little bit slow. It's not terribly slow, but it is definitely not the fastest, especially if I'm requesting something from all the way back there, and it has to come all the way around and all the way underneath. you can probably imagine how this could grow tiresome. It's not that bad in vanilla if you consider how much worse the vanilla alternative is. You know, if you compare this right alongside vanilla, this is definitely significantly better than anything vanilla has to offer with sorting systems and things like Ethos, Shulker request systems. So there's definitely that to consider, but I, for one, am a man of science, and so I would like this to go faster. That leads to my last contraption for this episode, and that is to make a pipe pressurizer. So we're going to need four, sorry, I know my numbers, four, count them, four, of these speed upgrade tier 4, or tier 3, rather. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some more pipe upgrades. Let's see, we need quartz and redstone. We've got lots of that. And when we get these turned into speed upgrades... I am terrible at bookmarking things today. When we get things turned into speed upgrades, we'll be able to move a little bit more quickly too. So let's go ahead and take these. Do I have any sugar? No, I don't. I think so. Nope. No problem. We have tons of sugarcane. This is part of why I've been harvesting all of that sugarcane all this time, is just to make things as easy as possible for us. So if we take all of these and get these all... Ooh, what am I short on? Sugar, okay. I was a little concerned there. If we get these all upgraded to tier 3 speed upgrades, or I guess they're called high speed, we can then combine that with some redstone and a iron block, or sorry, redstone block and 4 iron, and make a pipe pressurizer. And this pipe pressurizer can be hooked up anywhere in the pipe network as long as it's contiguous. So I could hook it up here, I could move it somewhere else, it doesn't really matter. And so this pipe pressurizer is going to require us to hook up something over here to flux. And so what we're going to do is get a couple of these things picked up and moved. And if you notice, it looks like a couple of blocks cannot be broken with the pipe wrench, and that's okay. It looks like so. A couple of changes to Mojang's code have also caused Pretty Pipes to take a little bit longer to break than usual, but that's okay. But what I can do is I can go ahead and route some of our energy from over here into our main house. And of course it would start raining, but it's nighttime. So I'm going to get that energy routed over using some LV wires, and then I will sleep the night away as well, and I'll see you shortly. All right, so with a little bit of trickery, just usually I would use grass block here, but grass blocks do not color when you use them for a feed-through insulator. So what we're doing here is just using a piece of smooth dirt and just kind of disguising this area with more pieces of smooth dirt. And we've got our power run all the way over using 3 different posts, because these LV wires, they don't go very far for very long. So we have to kind of spread this out a little bit. As we replace this with an MV system or even a high voltage system, we can go further and further between runs. I think personally I'll stop at MV because high voltage cannot be insulated. It's too high of a voltage, so there's not really much that you can do to prevent issues at that tier. And so a lot of times you'll run into it, or other things will run into it. So I also noticed that this was just a little bit over paved, so I'm just kind of letting the grass take some of these spots over a little bit now that we've gotten a little bit more of our direction put in place with our staircase over here. So now that we have our power run this far, I figured I would show you the remainder of it, because what I'm hoping to do is really easily come over here to this little nook and hook up our pipe pressurizer there, and then take our wire coil and run it from A to B, just like so. And now you'll see that the pipe pressurizer is going to start to build up on pressure. I'm going to leave this filled in exactly as much as it currently is. I don't want it to be overfilled. I don't want it to be rather a potential issue for it to disconnect on its own. And the only thing that I'm going to do is put down a singular torch right here, where it couldn't possibly interfere, because sometimes, very rarely, on like world reloads, sometimes the pipes will, or the cabling will update and feel like it needs to disconnect, or feel like it doesn't belong for just a second. And that can cause things to go awry for just that one little moment. But now that we have our pipe pressurizer hooked up, I wanted to showcase just what a difference that makes. Oh, it sounds like we have some guests as well. How nice. I'm going to go and tear this down because I don't think we're going to really need it for that much longer. Let me go ahead and show our guests the door. You may have noticed that I did not get Bad Omen from killing that pillager outpost, or sorry, the pillager raid captain. That's because you have to burn the ominous banner to get it in this pack, so you can selectively get Bad Omen only whenever you want it and no other time. So you'll see that the pipe pressurizer here is hooked up, and what we can do now is if we put down our crafting terminal, and we're to put something all the way in this far corner over here and request it, it is so much faster. And if I put it away, it goes away that much faster as well. And I don't remember what the ordering is for how it puts things away. I think it's just nearest. So that is ideal. Now, what I'm not 100% sure of, and I wanted to test, is if I gave this guy over here a resource that we're going to have a lot of. Let's say if I grabbed, we have a lot of carrots. So we'll use carrots for an example here. And we put all of our carrots, all 440 some odd carrots in here. If I requested these, obviously they're going to get pulled out, so we have 376. If I put them back in, are they going to go back into the right spot? Looks like it. Perfect. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. So what I'm going to do is we have a ton of food here, a ton of different crops and things that we're going to want to go through and get ourselves. So what I'm going to do, if you right-click on the very trim here, by the way, you can pull up this interface to see exactly how much you have currently and how much you have left. So these each store 2,000 of one item. What was that sound? I am really confused. That was weird. But I'm going to go ahead and get everything moved over into these barrels. I'm also going to move these nicer barrels and upgrade them as I can. Probably turn these 3 into diamond barrels because I don't care what goes in them. I just want to be able to maximize how many items I can fit in a lot of these cases. So I'm going to go ahead and start organizing. That's going to take a long time, so I'm not even going to show it. I'm just going to do it, and I'll see you shortly. All right, everyone. So I've got the bigger things already put away. So the things that we have in a large supply of bulk or regularly get, like spruce wood, are already put away. Same goes for our crops and vegetables, and that's cleared up a lot of our storage here. You'd probably expect me to have more stuff, but frankly, I'm going to leave that for our next little system. For now, I think I'm going to leave this kind of as is. And so what we can do is order by mod, name, or amount, which is something I forgot to mention. And when we get everything put together, I will show you exactly how I like mine configured. But for now, I've disconnected 3 drawers or 3 barrels, and that's going to be these 3 barrels here. I'll put there. And so now we get the luxury of just tossing everything in. This is probably my favorite part of putting a network like this together, is that you can just put stuff away and it will go where it needs to go. So we can just kind of start to process through everything that we have here. And oddly enough, it looks like the inventory inside does not update in real time like it's supposed to. I wonder what that's all about. That's a little weird. I've not had issues with this in the past. Normally, whenever you put something in your network, it shows up immediately. But I'm not seeing that happening. So I wonder what's going on. It's a little bit weird. I might just need to reconnect. It has been a moment since I've relogged. It might also be because this pipe network is pretty big. You know, there's a good bit of stuff going on here, so that could also be contributing to it. You can see that every now and then we'll get bounce back if something is, now it's working? I wonder if it's confused because of the 2 connections I have per. I might have to reconfigure that. I'm not really too concerned either which way, though. What we can do, though, is dump stuff in, and I might need to reconfigure a couple of things, but we'll see. For now, oh, right, I was mentioning bounce back. Sometimes bounce back occurs if, hang on just a minute, why is that so slow? If I request, are you fast? Okay, requesting is fast, putting away is a little bit slow. Maybe that's what I was seeing then, is that it was just not fast enough? Okay, I think that's really what it was, is that this wasn't fast enough. I believe we can put a speed upgrade on this pipe here coming out of our terminal, and that will help with that that component. So we'll definitely do that as well. I have to remind myself how Pretty Pipes works every now and then, because it's definitely got a couple of components that I regularly forget about. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's definitely updating in real time now. And it definitely looks like it's getting speedy at some point too, so maybe we don't need that speed upgrade. See, like, things are zipping around pretty quickly. It may have just been a little confused over here, or maybe it ran out of energy. It might have just run out of energy. I may have overburdened the pipe pressurizer. Okay, that's worth noting. We might need to come up with a new uh, uh, energy source for that pipe pressurizer over there. I bet that's what happened. So we don't need a speed upgrade, that's for sure. How are we doing? Yeah, see, things are moving slow again, and you are, yeah, you were out of energy for just a moment. So that's definitely what's going on. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Again, we will increase our power throughput at some point here shortly. And so doing this all at once is definitely going to be a little stressful on our input and or sorry on our pressurizer. So I definitely understand why it's happening now. That makes sense. And again, bounce back generally doesn't happen, but when it does, it's because the destination was filled up by the time whatever was going there got there. So if I put these in, that should be good for our 3 main barrels here. Very fun to watch, very satisfying. So if I grab these 3 barrels, I'll go ahead and break these as well because we're not going to need them. We can go ahead and upgrade these like so. And if I do Alt-click, I can request the items regardless of if we have enough or not. And so for something like this, I'll just request 2 of these, and then we'll put in what we have left, and that gets us 3 diamond barrels. So that is one of the cool things about the crafting component of the crafting terminal, is that it is pretty intelligent for filling in things that might be missing. These are probably all shooting like directly into here, which is fine. I didn't wait for any particular reason. I just didn't want to do it all at once. And now all of these can go away as well. And so at this point, what I can do is go ahead and grab all of this, put those away. And if I grabbed, we'll need some pipes, which we put away. So we'll grab these. We'll grab our crafting terminal. And at this point, we just need to find a way to get back up. I think what I can do is just go through the corner here. Like so. We can now hook up our pipes. So what I can do, since this is already a pipe, we can just do this and then disconnect you there. Of course I would fall through. And then we can hook this up like, do we want to hook this up into here, or do we want to hook it up into the floor? We might do it into the floor. So if we put it right here in the floor, we should now be able to see our entire network. Beautiful. And if we grabbed glass, I can fill in our hole here. I can put stuff away. And that is what I would call a finished system. I think that looks great. I can fill in this piece of cobblestone here finally, because we don't have to leave a space anymore. We can fill this in. And so now we have a lot more room for a lot of different things. We can turn this all into glass now because our storage is down there. And our storage will eventually expand, but what I was trying to do is just kind of keep things nice and isolated, keep things from getting too overlapped. So I think we're doing okay on storage, at least for now. What I can do, we do have spruce, yeah, these guys here, the spruce supports. These are fun. I love these. So these are meant to be used as wall supports, but you can also utilize them as tables. So what I could do is have a pair of tables, like so. See what I mean? See what I mean? And then we can put our statue down. We can put our other little miscellanies down. We have a couple of other decorative mods as well. And I think if we were able to get a hold of some candles, we could do a lot of stuff there. But you can see the JEI support is going to allow us to autofill, right? And then we can sync our JEI search. So anything we type up here or down here synchronizes either way. We can sort by ascending or descending. So I'm going to sort by ascending, ordered by mod. So that way we start with create and eventually we'll go down to all the Minecraft stuff. I like this because it just keeps all the stuff from one mod clustered together. And this works for my brain a little bit better, brings me a little bit more, I don't know, satisfaction, I guess. I'm going to take a couple of pots and maybe a couple of flowers. You can search by tag using the different JEI symbols usually will help. I'm a little surprised that that doesn't seem to work, though. Then again, it is kind of a custom case for sure within JEI searching mechanics for it to work a certain way, so I do understand for sure. But yeah, now that we've got these engineer's crafting tables freed up, we can always put them over here. Where these were currently, we can put these now. So we can start to replace things out. As you can tell, I still haven't built that arc furnace yet. That will come in the next episode because we are already at the end of this one, at least for the amount of time that I have currently to spend on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope I did pretty pipes proud with this construction here. It's a little bit odd, but it seems to be working pretty well. What I might do to solve my energy woes down here is to either create a new energy production system, add another windmill, or we have other options, right? So we could do a different kind of alternator source. So rather than doing windmills, we can explore some of Create's new rotational or torque mechanics. So there is a new one from Create, which is the steam engine, the steam boiler. So if we wanted to get into that, that wouldn't really take too much. We would just need to get into brass. So of course, for us to get into brass requires us to get into the arc furnace. So maybe, just maybe, that's what we do, is we get into that next episode. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you very soon.